This is the Schlage Everest. It is a 6-pin lock. I don't have a key, so we're going to get straight into picking it. There's 6 standard pins up here and 1 check pin in the bottom right. Typically we can pick these standard pins first, and we'll drop into a false set to let us go hunt down that check pin. There you can see we fell into that false set. You can do this with a flag, provided you have the right sized one. I think I have the wrong sized flag in here right now. So what I'm actually going to do is grab myself a kind of a low, whoop, sorry about that. Grab a one of my shorter hooks. And then we're just going to glide along the bottom here until we get to the check pin, which this particular, these Jimmy Longs might get too thick of a shaft in order to get me back there. So I'll grab, probably should have prepared with a, bump my light, with a flag that's appropriate size, but here we are. Just gotta find where that check pin lives, get lifted, and we're open. You cannot overlift the check pin, so once you get it to the point to where the check pin is required, just go ahead and lift it as far as you want. Don't worry about oversetting it. As you'll see when we take this apart, it's kind of impossible. So I'm going to go ahead and get this gutted. Put this on my tray. We'll adjust the camera here. Sorry for the movement. Make sure it's nice and tight. And move my vise out of the way here a little bit. Now normally I would lock this back up and use the key, but seeing as I do not have a key, we're going to gut this from the already picked position. That does make it kind of a pain in the butt to unscrew this, and in this case I have a tail piece that is a Torx bit. Looks like it's a T8. Yep. So this particular design is it's pretty neat. It is a, if you can see, there's a kick inside of this mortise. Oh, and we just locked it back up. So I just screwed up everything. So this setup here has that tail piece, and then it has these 2 oversides. Now I could have just picked this with the kick, but especially with the tension I apply, it's kind of cool to do it with this mortise holder. And since I locked it back up, You'd have to either pick it to open, pop this guy out so that the driver pins can come out. So we might just do that. Go that route instead, since I don't have an easy way to unlock it and get the sliders out. So we'll see if we can lift this Bible cover here. Looks like we should be able to. Provided I can actually get a good grip on it. It might be sliding a little bit. There it goes. So once I get enough of it that way, I'm gonna go ahead, use my cutting wrench to get in there. Just pry it up slowly. If we didn't have a cover on the top, we would essentially have to shim this lock from back to unlock it without a key, or re-pick it. But I figure it's nice to show both my successes and failures, and just how we can adapt on the fly. So that's our spring 1 and our spring 2. I might have mangled that spring a little bit, but we'll make do. Try not to completely rip this cover off, and just get underneath it and pry up. I'm trying to go on the sides too, so that I don't damage the springs. So there's another spring we can get out, so I'll try to get that out right away. And we'll just keep going. Should be able to get our next spring. Also trying to be careful not to drop any drivers out, not to tilt it too far. You might be worried about how much I'm mangling this cover, but you can just pound it flat with a hammer and get it back on here. And if worse comes to worse, you can always use a new piece of brass and cut it to shape with some shears and stuff. It's not too much of a challenge to make a new cover in this case, so I'm not worried about it too much. So we can see our 6 drivers are in there. Get my light in a more appropriate position. There's our drivers, so let's go ahead, drop out driver 1. Or at least try to. There we go. You can see it's just a standard driver. All of them are going to be standards. 2, 3. Oh, actually that one looks like it's almost wants to bring the key pin with right away. Nope, not ready for that just yet. These ones that are in the middle are always a pain to dump out by themselves. And let's just get 6 right away, since I see it's right there. There it goes, and then 5 is our last one. Making sure those don't come out first. Those are our key pins. Oh, only lost a key pin. Looks like that's key pin 4. Maybe I'm able to grab this guy now. Nope, he wants to slide down really easy, but so there's key pin 3 that came out at the same time as our last driver. We could dump our key pins out this way, but we should also be able to just remove the core, which I might do that way instead, just to show you. It also gives a good time to look at that check pin, I think, because even though, you'll see, even though we don't have any drivers, there's nothing to lock this lock anymore. It's still locked. But down here, this is how the check pin works. The check pin comes out of the core and prevents the rotation in both directions by just blocking it with this hole. So when you press the check pin, when you come in from the bottom, so like what I did when I was picking it was coming along the bottom here, and I got my pick right into that spot there and lifted it up, and that's what allowed me to rotate it. So same idea here. Once that's up, we can rotate this and slide the core out. Keeping in mind there's a check pin I'm blocking with my thumb. So there's that. So here's our check pin. So because of how that works, and it's blocked there, that's why you're not able to, you don't have to worry about overlifting it. When you have it in this position, for example, it's going to be all the way out. It's going to be, you know, blocking whatever rotation you want side to side. But you can basically lift this thing as far as you want, push it in as far as it'll go. There's no oversetting, because this is the part that locks, just these little ledges here. So overset it as much as you want. Once it opens, you're good to go. So we'll go ahead, take that check pin out, put him in spot 7. He's got a little tiny spring. We're gonna get out of there. There it is. Tiny little spring that goes with it. And our check pin. So let's grab the remainder of these key pins. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 are already out. 5 and 6. So that's the Schlage Everest. Pretty straightforward, just requires a little bit of a heavier touch. You can see these are not tapered, they're just standard, but they do require some tension just due to the way the tolerances of the lock work out and possibly the interaction it has with the check pin. Do a quick little close-up of our key pins here. Get it all centered. There's our key pins and our springs and everything. And that's all there is to it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you next time.